because my computer was on. Okay, we will call to order the city council meeting for the city of Saratoga Springs. We sound really loud tonight.
That's better than quiet though. We've been so
Man, I'm gonna sit back. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. It is 6:01 p.m. We have a full council present, so we do have a quorum. We will start with a moment of reflection by Councilman Wadman, and then we'll do our pledge by Councilmember Wilson.
Father in heaven, we truly are grateful for the opportunity to meet here as a council, as citizens. And as city staff, we are grateful for those that serve and protect the city and make it so our lives are as full as possible. We're grateful for this community and this state and this nation we call home, and for the guidance that thou gives us. We ask you at this time to please be with our leaders, be with those here in the city, be with those that are in the state, and especially those that are with the country as they lead and take us into the future. We ask you to be with us this evening, that we can have civil discourse, and we can recognize those people that have made achievements and those that are working towards our benefit. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Yeah.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you for doing that. We will go right into presentations. We have a presentation on our Miss Saratoga Springs royalty. Is that going to be Corinne, Rochelle, Darcy, Lexi? Lexi. Okay. Named them all.
I just wanted to thank each of you for your support during the pageant this year, and I'm going to turn the time over to our pageant director, Darcy Williams, to introduce the royalty and say a few things.
Thank you. Just a couple of weeks ago on March 7th, we had our 17th annual Miss Saratoga Springs pageant. So tonight we're pleased to introduce you to our 2026 royalty. If they'll come up and stand by me when I read their names. We have our Miss Saratoga Springs, Sadie Dial. First attendant, Lydia Prestwich. Second attendant, Sarah Cloward. And then we have our junior misses, Avery Clough and London Okamoto. And our little misses, Camille Cloward and Chloe Scott. And they are excited to represent the city this year at events and all of the fun things that they get to do.
Hey, before we do that, hey, Ann, before we take a picture, Councilman McComber used to do this. Can we put our Miss Saratoga Springs on the spot and have her talk about her service project real quick?
Yes. So for my service project, I'm going to be visiting and attending events at the Saratoga View Senior Home down by Riverview. And recently I went to their St. Patrick's Day party and helped them play games and participate in a scavenger hunt.
Great, thank you. And then Anna, how do you want to do that?
So I have you guys stand up here. The light isn't working for me. Go ahead.
Take your pictures.
Are they going to stand in front here?
Yeah.
Do you want us to stand in
Yeah,
back?
do you guys want to stand? We can get
Great.
them with the council. Can we scooch this way a touch so you're kind of in line with the council?
Hold on a second.
If I can't see you, or if you can't see me, I can't see you. That's what
You're
you do.
short and you're behind Sadie.
I know, yeah, she's got a crown on her
Sorry,
face.
yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
And if I can have just a quick moment while we're here, we'd like to ask that the mayor and city council please consider displaying the photos of our pageant queens in City Hall. I know that they were taken down in the other building to be painted, and they have not been hung up yet, because these young women really represent more than a title. They're ambassadors of our community, serving at events, volunteering their time, and working to make the city a better place. And this is a common practice in city buildings across the state and country. In addition, these displays help to promote the pageant itself, encouraging young women to get involved and to develop skills that will hopefully benefit them for years to come. So since we have a lot of beautiful empty walls in this building, hopefully we can use some to tell the story of service and leadership that these young women do, and tell the story of a program that has had an impact on our community for almost 2 decades now. So thank you for your consideration.
I think we can probably find a spot somewhere.
We would appreciate
I
that.
remember they used to be on the stairwell, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Personally, if I had my pick, I would love them to be somewhere by the library, because I think that's where you get a lot of traffic from young girls and youth that can see that the positive role models that
Do we
these
have
girls are.
17 years of photos?
We have 17 years of photos and plaques with their name and numbers on them.
Sounds like we gave a lot of them back to the winners, so we'll have to figure that out.
Has that happened? Were they given back? No, the city still has them all.
If
Well-
The
not,
city still has them.
Okay. Okay,
They
we will figure this out.
Thank
Hey,
you,
I just want to give a big
appreciate
shout out. Had the incredible privilege of emceeing this event. So well done. So thank you for your guys' work on that. I get teary because it was such an amazing opportunity for me to watch these girls and their talents. I wish we could just show their talents tonight when you guys present to us, because they were out of the box, not the normal talents. And everybody did such a fantastic job with it. And so, so excited to work with you girls. Most of us try to attend most of the events, and we'll see you a lot. I'm so excited for you guys to be there and to help us and us to help you and to work. But what a job well done on that pageant, and in the years past as well, as we watched them and stuff like that. And what a privilege to be able to be there and watch these girls. And I think most of us were able to be there to watch. Mayor was there as well. And it's a big deal, and it's scary. But our directors, you guys made me feel comfortable. The girls hopefully had a great time. They looked like they were having a good time. But thank you so much for doing this every year. Love it.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to working with you
You're a
girls.
wonderful MC. So.
Thank you.
Okay, that's your report time.
Oh, do you want me to wait till then?
No,
I should have, but usually they leave, but I don't want them to leave.
no, that's great. Okay, we will move on our agenda to item 5. So as a city council member and as mayor, I'm not a big proclamation resolution person unless it's about something really, really important. And so I wanted to, I asked that this get put on our agenda tonight. I'd like to ask the Westlake boys basketball team, who are the 6A state champions, to come up front here in the dais area, please. And I'll come down there and join you. Awesome, coaches are here. Maybe before I read this, you guys just introduce yourself real quick. If you're a coach or a player, I think you're a coach.
Yeah. I'm Coach Hoops.
Just pass it down.
I'm Coach K. Last name is Kikuo Kulani, so they call me Coach K.
Coach K's great.
Yeah, Coach K is good.
I'm Sloan Sewell. I'm junior. Kai Hepworth. I'm also a junior.
Walker Jensen, I'm a senior.
Noah Sorensen, I'm a junior.
Tristan Thorne, I'm a junior.
Malik Sika, I'm also junior.
Graydon Anderson, senior.
Kyle Pierce, senior.
Brody Jensen, sophomore. Caleb Noftel, senior.
Santi Duchesne, senior.
Brody Thompson, senior.
Can we petition that we get an extra year for some of these guys? Yeah, let's do that. Coach Nate Carling, head coach. Yeah.
Thank you. So if you're not familiar with proclamations, they get wordy, okay? So you're going to have to bear with me a little bit as I read through this. Okay. Proclamation of the City of Saratoga Springs, State of Utah, recognizing the Westlake High School boys basketball team as the 2026 UHSAA 6A state champions. Whereas the Westlake High School boys basketball team completed an extraordinary 25-26 season through dedication, teamwork, discipline, and Yes, okay. Whereas, under the leadership of head coach Nate Carling and the coaching staff, the Thunder compiled an outstanding 24-3, correct? Record, thank you, and demonstrated excellence throughout the season. And whereas, on February 27th, 2026, at the John M. Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City, the Westlake Thunder defeated Bingham High School 71-55 to win the UHSAA 6A Boys Basketball State Championship. And whereas the victory marks the first boys basketball state championship in the history of Westlake High School, making it a historic achievement for the school and the city and the Saratoga Springs community. And whereas the players represented Westlake High School and the city of Saratoga Springs with integrity, sportsmanship, and determination, inspiring students, families, and residents throughout the community. And whereas the accomplishments of this team reflect the dedication of their coaches, teachers, parents, school administrators, and the many community members who support them throughout the season. Now, therefore, I, Chris Karn, Mayor of City of Saratoga Springs, on behalf of the City Council and residents of Saratoga Springs, do hereby recognize and honor the Westlake High School basketball team, boys basketball team, as the 2026 UHSAA 6A state champions, and commend the players, coaches, supporters for bringing pride and distinction to our community. Be it further proclaimed that the City of Saratoga Springs hereby designates March 24th, 2026 as Westlake High School Boys Basketball Day in the City of Saratoga Springs, encouraging residents to celebrate the team's historic accomplishment and example they have set forth for the youth of our city. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Saratoga Springs to be affixed this 24th day of March, 2026. So, council, stand up again.
Just turn around. There we go. There we go. Oh no, that's not gonna work either. Okay. We'll just see eyes. It's fine. That's good.
That's good, that's good. Okay. Just leave it. Thank you.
Okay, Mayor Karn's going to kill me, but I'm going to use my comments right now again as well. I just want to share a quick history with Westlake basketball, and what a full circle to be on City Council this day. So my oldest son was on the first basketball team ever at Westlake High School and played during his time there, and I was the booster president for 3 years. And then my younger son also got to be a part of Nate Carling. My son was on the lookout, and then my younger son got to be a part of Nate Carling's program as well when he was in high school. And so we've been fans of Westlake basketball from day one. And what a fun moment for our family and the rest of Saratoga Springs. But I hold it so close and dear to us because was so involved at the very beginning. What an amazing moment for our city. And I'm being selfish for us to see this program that we started out with come to that, like, such an amazing moment. So congrats. So proud of you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. And March 23rd, that's the day.
That's great.
Westlake basketball.
And I will put in a plug. I would ask that anybody from the schools, the school board, administration, to please involve us as a city when you have the opportunity to be in these state titles and championships. We want to be there and support as a council. I do. I had a lot of fun going to the games this year. So please involve us. Let us know and let us help recognize your accomplishments. So we'll move. And thank you. And so you guys know you don't have to stay at basketball.
That's why I made comments.
And royalty. You're welcome. You don't have to stay. I get it. Okay. We'll move right to our next report is from the Valley Crossroads Chamber of Commerce. Is this going to be both of you? So we have Melissa and Hannah Clark who will be presenting.
She's Hannah Wirtz.
Oh, sorry, Hannah Wirtz. My apologies.
Been married for a few years now.
Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. We're super excited to be here tonight. I'm Melissa Clark. I'm the CEO of the Valley Crossroads Chamber of Commerce. And Hannah Wirtz is our Education and Outreach Manager.
Melissa,
And-
try and get a little closer to the mic if you can.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that. So tonight we also brought our chair of our board, Laura Jensen. She's sitting back in the audience. And we thought that was really important because nothing we do at the chamber is done individually. It's always done as a team. We've brought some copies of our 2025 year in review and our updated membership plan so you can see the full scope of the work the chamber is doing to support businesses across the valley. The Saratoga Springs partnership is important to us, and we want to share both what we've already been doing and what we're planning to do moving forward. In the year in review, you'll see these same stats, but it was a huge year of growth for us. We had 103 new members, 3,479 people attended different chamber events, 1,909 hours of training was provided to local businesses, 886 hours of networking opportunities were created, 636 hours of advocating for business, 1,488 hours from our ambassador team supporting local companies. These numbers represent a lot of direct support for businesses in both Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs. And one really cool thing that I wanted to point out in the slideshow, if you look really closely between ShopFest and Eagle Mountain, is the Saratoga Springs logo on our front desk. And we thought that was kind of cool when you guys joined our chamber. Around our chamber, you'll see the gear symbols, and it's central to our identity. Each letter represents one of our key pillars from our mission: growth opportunity, education, advocacy, resources and connection, and serving our community. Together, these initiatives fuel business growth and strengthen our community, because at the Valley Crossroads Chamber of Commerce, we believe that success stories start here. We were super pleased to be able to attend and participate in the grand openings of Hydrobalance, Jack in the Box, R&R Tactical, Inspire Sports, and Xfinity. And we're super grateful when mayor and council are able to join us. I think it means so much to our businesses. We also were able to help and support and attend the groundbreaking for the new Saratoga Springs High School, and we're super excited for that. And Hannah's going to talk to us really quick about our education and opportunities that we have in the chamber.
So at the chamber, one of the most impactful things we do is provide free business clinics for entrepreneurs and small businesses. Through partnerships with organizations like the SBA, Workforce Services, UVU, and local professionals, we bring experts directly to local businesses. These clinics cover things like legal advice, tax planning, marketing strategy, and financial reviews, resources that many small businesses otherwise couldn't afford. Our goal is to make sure that every business owner in our valley has access to the tools and guidance they need to succeed. We also, in addition to clinics, offer ongoing training opportunities. Programs like Business Bootcamp, Chamber 101, and social media training help entrepreneurs develop practical skills they can use immediately in their businesses. Education is one of the strongest ways we support long-term economic growth. In 2025, our Lunch and Learn series focused on money matters, helping business owners strengthen their financial knowledge and decision-making. Looking ahead to 2026, we're shifting the focus to Business 101, providing foundational training to help new and growing businesses develop the skills they need to succeed.
And then we also do some special things just for our nonprofits here in our community. We have special programs just for them. Once a quarter, we have a special training where we teach them things like how to write grants, how to ask other businesses for money, and just really how to grow their organization and have visibility. We really believe in supporting our nonprofits because we understand that nonprofits are a huge part of a thriving community. We also focus on advocacy. You can see we have some really cool events: Voices of the Valley, Politics and Pastries, or Politics After Dark, and our Crossroads Leadership Luncheon. We just had one of those last week here in your beautiful facility. And then we also have a really extensive section for advocacy on our website. There's a directory of all of our local elected officials, our state elected officials, and a bill tracker so that our businesses can stay informed on what's going on in the legislative realm. We also really try to focus on relevant issues and how they impact our local businesses. So this is at a recent Voices of the Valley where we invited UTA, UDOT, and MAG to come and talk about transportation. And it was a really great meeting. There we go.
We also host regular events right here in Saratoga Springs. Our Flash Lunch networking events rotate between Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs, helping businesses build relationships and bring customers into local restaurants and businesses. We also highlight outstanding local businesses through our Business of the Month program. Recognizing companies like Daylight Donuts, Mathnasium, and Aldera Apartments helps celebrate businesses that contribute to our local economy.
One of our biggest, most exciting things that we do and an investment that the Chamber has made is into our Launchpad Business Resource Center. This facility, next one, provides classrooms, computer lab, computer classes, business training, community classes, and event space, and it is awesome. There's even a maker space that includes a 3D printer and laser engraver. This is a floor plan of all the spaces that we have available there, and there's room for businesses to come and make their start in our incubator offices. There's classrooms, and we even have had some small business roundtable hosted by some of your council members, so it's a really great space for that.
We're also investing in the next generation of entrepreneurs and workers. Programs like Blueprint Initiative give students exposure to trades and technical careers through field trips and mentorship from local businesses. Junior Chamber and Junior Shop Fest gives junior high and high school students the opportunity to create and experiment, but also learn from business leaders in the community.
And then there's some pictures of some of the service projects that our ambassadors and chamber members participated in. So as we looked at 2026 and beyond, we brought something else with us. These are new business kits that are going to be given to every new business when they come in and get their business license. And in the inside of them, there's a membership booklet, there's a grand opening planning guide, there's a chamber calendar, there's a B2B business resource guide, and our B2B businesses can also include some of their information, so it's an advertising for them as well. There's a ShopFest info sheet, and then there's a sampler pack for Launchpad, and this includes vouchers so that you can come and use the 3D printer or the maker space, the co-working space, or our podcast recording studio. And then lastly, there's a ticket in there to come to one of our luncheons. We just want the businesses of your community to understand that they're welcome and we're here solely to help them thrive and grow. And just a few other things, we've brought on a new member to our chamber team to specifically visit Saratoga Springs businesses. As we've grown and brought you guys into our chamber, we think it's really important to make sure that we dedicate resources as a chamber to do that. And we're also in the works of planning a vendor event here in Saratoga Springs, a really big vendor event, probably in the winter of 2029. So thank you so much for having us. We're so grateful for our relationship that we have with you guys. We're grateful for Doug Meldrum and all that he does to keep us informed about what's going on in Saratoga. And we're just pleased that we get to be a part of this community too.
Thank you. So I've got a couple questions. When is your next flash lunch and where will it be?
It is next April 10th, and this one's at Freddy's in Eagle Mountain.
The new Freddy's. Okay.
Yeah.
That's twice a month?
Yeah, well, no, it was twice a month last year when Saratoga joined because we didn't want to short Saratoga businesses. And we had already scheduled all the Eagle Mountain businesses, so we did twice a month last year. This year, it's just once a month. It was originally on the third Friday, but we moved it because there's a veterans networking event that we didn't want to compete with. So now it's on the second Friday.
But you do have other opportunities outside Flash Lunch with the pastries and...
Yes.
And what do you call it? After dark?
There's Sunrise Networking, which Daylight Donuts is the sponsor for that. So they always provide yummy donuts for that. And then we also have Nighttime Networking, which is this Thursday. And at Nighttime Networking, we do Fill the Bag. And we take some of our chamber bags and all of our businesses get a chance to put stuff in them. And then we bring them to Saratoga Springs so they can pass them out when people come and move into the community. And then some also to Eagle Mountain when they get a new library card.
Perfect.
So.
Okay, and then one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I know we've talked about this before, and I'd like to explore this more, is working with the chamber on a small business 101, where you guys kind of look at our process and how you can help small businesses through that process. Because we obviously have a business development staff who do a great job, but there's only so many resources. But if we can help send a small business who's struggling to figure out the ropes, we can send them to you to help get through that. That'd be great too. So,
Yeah.
Valuable partnership with our chambers. We do belong to two Chamber of Commerce's, and I think both of them bring a lot of value to our city. And we've been a member of the Valley Crossroads now for
Just
18
over a year.
months.
No, just last February.
Yeah.
The gala.
Last February?
Like March
Okay.
was when you started, so.
Okay, so
yeah.
about a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just out there real quick too. So when I first got on council, me and Melissa talked a lot, and I went out to go see their chamber. Was it Eagle Mountain? Was it called then?
Yeah, it
Eagle
was
Mountain
the
Chamber,
Eagle Mountain Chamber. Anyway, and I talked to them like, we have to be a part of this, because I saw how many resources they had, and they have twice as many now, right? How many resources they had, how much they supported small businesses, and that was a big deal to me. And so we talked about it quite a bit as a council, because we wanted to make sure, it was the right decision, but 100% was the best decision. Thank you for what you do for our small businesses and how you help us. And me and Melissa talked quite a bit about it at the very beginning, and I wanted to make sure that we pushed for that, and I think we tried hard. And the name change, I think, was a big thing. I hate to say that, it's kind of petty, but
it's not.
we wanted to be a chamber that was inclusive, right? And
Yeah.
so Melissa and her team did a fabulous job rebranding themselves, and that was, I think, when we were like, yep, we're doing this. So thank you so much for everything you do. Doug, again, thank you to you too. And just a big thing, Doug, will you let us know as a council how we can help you promote the chamber as well to our small businesses? Okay, awesome. Thanks, you
And
guys.
just please make sure you communicate your ribbon cuttings.
We will.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's a big deal. We
you.
like to be there. Yeah, you guys know that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll move to public input. Public input time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as a public hearing on the agenda. Time for public input is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. Please limit individual comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter. Please be respectful in your comments. Please avoid repetitive comments. If you're here for public hearing, please hold your comments until that item. Is there anybody here for public input? Seeing none, I will close public input. We'll go to reports. I will start. We did have the opportunity in the last couple weeks to attend the National League of Cities in Washington, D.C. About a month and a half before we were planning on making that trip. I got an email from Congressman Owen's office asking if someone from the city could come and testify in the Natural Resources Committee in Congress to support his bill that would turn 20 acres of BLM land in the city over to the USPS and mandate the Postal Service build a post office in Saratoga Springs within 2 years. So it was a great opportunity. While we were in Washington, myself, Councilmember Wilson and Taylor were there with the backing support of the mayor of Eagle Mountain and Lehigh and their council members and staff. We all sat in the hearing room, and I was able to testify on the need for the post office here in Saratoga Springs, answer some questions, which was fun, a little nerve-wracking. But it was a great opportunity, and I think we got a lot out of the NLCS conference and the ability to go support our congressman in his push to get us a post office. Council, any reports? Yep.
So while you guys were in Washington, D.C., Councilmember Bart and I were able to attend the groundbreaking for the new 2100 section of freeway. And so it was really great to see different members from the community, from the county, state, and regional partners. One of the things that I thought was interesting that they talked about is that stretch of road on average will save the average commuter 24 minutes a day, which when you multiply that by a 250 work year, that'll save your average commuter 4 days of being in traffic. So building these new roads is really impactful for our community. And so I'm really grateful for our state, regional, and local partners that helped make that happen.
That's great, because when I've talked, and I don't know, I haven't looked at the math, but when I talked anecdotally to people, when the Mountain View corridor opened, they said that was about their average savings each way, about 15 to 20 minutes each way when that opened. So I know traffic's an issue. With our regional partners at UDOT, we will continue to advocate and they will continue to prioritize projects in our area. So I think that's going to be a great project.
And that project is expected to be wrapped up in 2028.
Right. And then as soon as that one's over, they will start the next project, which takes it from current 2100 to SR 73, correct? Okay. Anybody else?
No, just kind of to, I guess I ditto, going to the National League of Cities Conference was very helpful. As far as I learned things about, federal grants that we might be interested in the future. I don't know if they make sense right now. And also some good classes on civic bridge building. And there's a pledge that the National League took that I think we should look at. I don't think we have an issue with that on council right now, but it was a really great idea. So.
Okay. Owen?
We don't have any reports for the council, but thank you.
Well, it's on the agenda, so.
But
Do
thank
we
you.
have need for closed session tonight?
We do not tonight.
Thank you. We'll move right to our consent items. Do I have a motion on consent items?
I move that we approve the consent items listed on the agenda.
Second.
We have a first from Councilmember Barton, a second from Councilmember Wadman. I will take, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Thank you. We'll move straight to business item number 1. ASD High School 722 General Plan Amendment from Planned Community to Low Density Residential to Institutional. Civic rezone from Planned Community and Agricultural to Institutional Civic. And Development Agreement with Concept Plan located at approximately the northwest corner of Ensign Drive and Mountain View Corridor. Who is presenting? Right here. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Hey, before you start, is Frank Pulley here?
Yes, and we can invite him forward as well as Jeb Pryor.
Great. Why don't you guys come up?
And I don't know if I'm putting the clicker at the wrong place, but it is not wanting to work for me. Will you click on the presentation?
You're back to the home screen.
Maybe? Okay.
There we
Great.
go.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As stated, this is a general plan / land use map amendment, rezone, development agreement, and accompanying concept plan for Alpine School District High School 722, located at the northwest corner of Ensign Drive and Mountain View Corridor. As part of this request, there are several components of this that I'll be going through in my presentation this evening. I'm happy to delve into these further if you have any questions, but I can kind of hit the highlights here. So the first part of this request is a general plan land use map amendment. The existing land use classification for this property is low density residential and planned community. The applicant is requesting a general plan land use map amendment to the institutional civic land use classification. In addition to that, the accompanying rezone that is being requested is from the existing agricultural and planned community zoning districts to the institutional civic zoning district, consistent with the general planned land use map amendment request. Real quickly, the purpose of the institutional civic zone that is being requested for the rezone this evening is to allow for public or quasi-public land uses. Development under these regulations should provide for university or college campuses, as well as traditional schools, libraries, hospitals, public buildings or facilities, and other land uses that provide essential services to the general public, as well as some ancillary commercial uses to benefit the public use of certain facilities. This is the concept plan, site plan that was provided with this rezone request. Originally, we received this rezone request almost about a year ago at this point. And so this was the concept site plan that was submitted with it. I will point out that the formal site plan submittal, including the accompanying preliminary plat, is also on the agenda this evening for your consideration as well. And we'll get into that with the subsequent agenda items. I did also want to note that with the review checklist for this, There are many items when it comes to schools that staff is not able to regulate per state code. So where typically we would see regulations on items such as landscaping or aesthetics, those are not applicable in our review for schools. And so that's reflected in the review checklist, but then also again, I'll cover that more in depth with the site plan application as we review it. These are the concept elevations that were submitted. Again, the elevations that were formally submitted with the site plan are later on this evening, but these were the concept elevations when this application came in. With this, a development agreement has been mutually reviewed by both the city and by the applicant. That mutually reviewed development agreement was included with the staff report this evening. With that, I will stand for any questions that you may have. The applicant is here as well for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Is there anything to be added by Alpine?
No, nope. David covered it very well.
It's not often we get these plans coming in when the project's already going vertical. So this is interesting way of doing it. Council, any questions here?
Yeah, I do. To anybody, Alpine School District, this has been worked on for about a year, is that correct, before you ever started moving ground? And why so long for this to finally get to the city council for this rezoning request?
We came to the city council about a year ago, but you guys took us off the agenda, wouldn't hear our proposal because we couldn't come to terms on a development agreement.
Is it typical to start construction before a development agreement is finalized and then request a rezoning? Not that I anticipate any problems with tonight, but it's just a general question as a new city council member, and I know the school district or schools have a special way about going about things because of state law, but is that typical?
Yeah, so typically we do not do development agreements with any other city when we build schools. So this is a non-typical process for us as a school district. So it's not something that we enter into with other cities.
Would it be typical to ask for a rezoning after you've started building?
Typically, we can build in any zone as a school. Yeah.
Right.
So we're doing it just as part of the process, just to put this in the right zone, really for the future. But statute allows us to build in pretty much any zone.
And connect to city services as well without development agreement?
Yeah, normally our approved set of plans, really it's just off-site plans because what happens on site is governed by the state, not necessarily by the city, which is why the school's gone vertical because our approval comes from the state. We haven't yet done anything off-site, so things that pertain to the city infrastructure, roads, utilities haven't been put in yet, waiting for this final approval.
Great, thank you for educating me on that.
Can I just throw something out there real quick? Yep. This has nothing to do with this, but just so the rest of the council knows, you might not be aware, but they've already hired a principal for the new high school. So he is a member of our community out here out west. Very, very excited. Such a great asset. He's already has dived right down into everything and is really excited to be out here in our community. I think Mayor Karn as well has gotten to know him a little bit. And so I believe actually in a couple of weeks he wanted to come and say hi to everybody at our next council meeting, just so you guys are aware. But great choice, and we're really excited about that and excited about the school. So that had nothing to do with the plan, so sorry about saying that. I just wanted to make everybody aware. They've hired somebody, yay!
Is there any other questions from the council on business item 1?
Just a quick comment. Like, we definitely want to be good partners and approve this rezone. We understand the need for the high school in this area is very, very needed. And we just want to make sure that the city can adequately plan for the needed utilities. So my question is really, are you planning to add the engineering level ready site plans so that we can better determine like utility service capacity before this is finished? I know that we need like another water tank in zone 2 and some other things like that.
Chairman?
I'll take a stab at that. Right now, as far as infrastructure challenges, yeah, I mean, back to the other question, Saratoga definitely has some unique infrastructure challenges that more built-out cities don't have, or cities without the slope, or cities without the slope or infrastructure challenges. So that's obviously a challenge with the school to cooperate with them and to keep them on their time frame while analyzing impacts to our infrastructure. So on this specific site, two of the biggest challenges were secondary water and transportation. And that's, the development agreement addresses both of those. You know, some of that did take extensive negotiation. So secondary water, that is going to be handled basically by the church, the landowner. I can't, Frank could, when I'm done talking, he can expand if he needs to, but the church has agreed to provide that by the time the school opens. So they'll have to build a new pond and all the other connecting infrastructure to make that pond operational. Because that's to have the landscaping area to service that, we can't service that with our current infrastructure. So that's something that they've agreed to, and the DA explains that they'll need to build that pond before they can connect to our secondary system. The transportation was a little more of a negotiation. There's about 6 or 7 items. And so if you go through the DA, you'll notice that on each one, we made a really exhaustive effort to identify what's fair and proportionate based on their impacts, based on our needs for build out. You know, like a lot of things, we're not going to build roads 3 ways. We want to build it the right way the first time. Some of that capacity the school needs, and some of that capacity we're going to need when the area builds out. That took a lot of engineering studies and back and forth. So you'll see the DA goes through each of those items and says, okay, in this item, the school will build it, and the city will work with them to reimburse them this. In this item, the city will build it. So that's all detailed in the DA. So yes, all the infrastructure needs have been identified already, addressed. Impacts of the school on our infrastructure have been addressed, and those will either be built by the school district, by the church when it comes to the secondaries, or by the city. So things like the Bonneville Drive extension, we've negotiated that we will build that, but they'll reimburse us a proportionate share. The signal at Mountain View and Ensign will build that. They'll build other things like the collector roads and things like that. So that's all been kind of negotiated, and that's one of the reasons this took so long. There was just so many different subtopics to negotiate individually and make sure that each party felt that the final terms were fair, and so.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion on business item 1.
I move that the City Council approve the requested rezone general plan amendment and development agreement for the Alpine School District High School 722, located at the northwest corner of Ensign Drive and Mountain View corridor, with the finding and conditions in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, we got a first from Councilmember Wilson, a second from Councilmember Barton. We'll do a roll call vote, please. Councilmember Wadman.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
That passes unanimously. We'll go to business item 2.
Can I just shout out real quick so the public knows that our school board's here? So we have our school board president, Julie King, and vice president Matt Isaacson, and another school member, board member, Joylyn Lincoln, and it looks like her daughter. Anyway, thanks. Oh, thanks for being here, you guys. Just so public I just want them to know that you guys are here supporting, and yeah.
Okay, we'll go to business item 2, preliminary plat and site plan for ASD High School 722. Someone needs to explain it why we're calling it 722. Located approximately at the northwest corner of Ensign Drive and Mountain View corridor, Frank Pulley, Alpine School District as applicant.
I don't know that I have a great explanation for why 722.
Frank might know, so we'll ask him in a minute.
For sure. But as stated, this is the accompanying preliminary plat and site plan for the high school that was rezoned, that was just approved, located again at the northwest corner of Ensign Drive and Mountain View corridor. This is the code compliance section of the report that I referenced previously. As noted here, there are several items that are not regulated per state code. There are a number of items that are listed here as shall comply. The majority of those were due to items that were being negotiated with the development agreement and were contingent on the approval of the development agreement this evening. The preliminary plat, as included in the site plan, one of the conditions is that the preliminary plat be brought up to meet all of the red lines that were included in the staff report. The applicant has since this agenda was prepared, resubmitted their plans addressing those comments, so staff is working together with the applicant to have that ready to go for the final plat approval. This is the accompanying site plan that was submitted with the site plan application and preliminary plat application. The school building itself is going to be roughly 350,000 square feet, I believe. Frank can correct me on that if I'm wrong. One item that code does discuss that we wanted to bring forward to you this evening is with regard to off-street parking. Similar to other uses in code, this is one of the uses where no comparative land use standard for parking is found. In section 1909 of our code, the land use authority, which is you as the city council, for the related development shall determine an appropriate requirement using the criteria listed here. Those criteria are outlined within the staff report, but we did want to note that that is something that is listed within the conditions of approval this evening, that the parking meet the requirement as shown on the site plan. The applicant is showing a total of 1,276 total parking stalls with this development. It is my understanding that that will be the most number of stalls with any high school that Alpine School District has worked on. But again, that is an item that is up for the council's consideration with this site plan. Here are the landscaping plans provided with the with this application. This is one of those items that is not regulated by the city per state code, but was provided as a reference for the council. Similarly, the elevations are something that are not regulated as per state code, but were provided for your reference. With that, I will stand for any questions that you may have. Additionally, the applicant is here as well.
All right, Frank, 722.
So all of our schools get an identifying number that we use throughout its entire life for mostly accounting purposes.
Okay.
And so when we're building a lot of schools, we used to give them a name like Saratoga Springs High School, but now we put the number to it because we get too many projects with the same name and they're hard to keep track of. So we use that number at the beginning.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to put you on the spot. How many parking spots does Westlake have?
It's right around close to 900.
I was going to guess 30, but I knew I was going to be off.
30? Okay, so it's considerably more. Is that including the driving range parking spots? Do you include the driving range parking spots in the Westlake number?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And that includes this school's driving range parking spots in this number, correct?
It does.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any questions, council.
So on one of your maps, you had a location for portables, because we know that this area is growing really, really fast. And how will the portables impact the parking? What will that do to reduce the number?
Yeah, you can see where those are X'd out, so it would take some of the parking away. And if or when portables come in there, that's something that we'd need to address at that time to find alternative solutions for parking.
Do you have any, like, a rough estimate on how many parking stalls that would?
Not off the top of my head. I could count them real quickly. It'd take me just a few minutes.
That's okay. Okay, but just something to consider, because we know that parking is a consideration.
So on a follow-up to that, if I can, the portables at Westlake, I'm trying to think, they are in, there's a big one in the back in that parking area. Do you know how many spots those took when you brought those in?
We didn't take any parking
From Westlake?
From Westlake. We took away landscape areas when we brought those ones in.
Okay.
Another question, this application is unique in a number of different ways. One of which is that the entity doing the development agreement, Alpine School District, will no longer exist at the time of the completion of this project. So if you could walk us through a little bit about how that transfer will happen and how you're anticipating to make that transition smooth.
Yeah, there's language in the development agreement that transitions it from Alpine to the Lake Mountain School District when Lake Mountain officially takes over ownership of this area of the school district. So there's language in the development agreement.
And is it your team that continues to work with it, or how does that? It's just a unique situation. So
Yeah, it's kind of unique. Like, I'm not really sure where I'm going to be working, so there will be a team that will this will transition to, obviously, we already have a district leadership team here in Lake Mountain, so it certainly will transition to that new Board of Education and that district leadership team to ensure that the development agreement is fulfilled.
Because this is a very important building for this community, and making sure that that transition happens smoothly is really important. Thank you.
First of all, I'm actually really amazed by all the neat classes you have building like rooms for. It's like nothing like that. And I had a brand new high school where I grew up. Very supportive, just maybe more comment of connecting Bonneville Drive and the Silver Lake neighborhood. I saw that on the traffic study. That seems really, that's something we have to do, but very important. I do have a question. It looks like the football field is that's the thing that has the most lights, the most sound. That's the closest to houses. I drove there this morning. Can you answer me why it's in that location? All the others are kind of by roads, but this is right by houses. And that seems like maybe that will have the most impact on the neighboring houses.
Yeah, a lot of things here are placed because of topography. There's 60 feet of elevation change across this site, and football fields and stadiums need a big, giant, flat footprint to sit. This football field actually sits lower than the houses, so it sits down almost in a hole. This school actually, part of it is like a walkout basement. So the area behind where all the big parking lot and stuff is actually the basement level, but it walks out directly to that level, and the football field is at that level. So it is down. So if you parked at the front of the school, like off of Bonneville Drive, you would actually walk in at the top of the bleachers for the home stands and then walk down into the stadium.
So do we anticipate that will mitigate some of the impacts then on the neighbors?
For sure it will. Yeah.
I mean, I think of, I'm a marching band dad, and having marching band below grade will actually help quite a bit with the neighbors, so.
Also, I just want to throw out there as well. So I used to teach at Lehigh High School, and I was a student council advisor there, and so we did take neighbors into consideration because their football field, it's right there, and then there's a street, well, there's some other fields, but a street, and then the houses. And so we, as a courtesy, would go, if we were going to have an early event or a later event besides a football game, we would just go to the residents and say, hey, just a heads up, we're going to have a sunrise something at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? So I think there's a lot of ways to be able to mitigate, like, any type of noise or something like that with neighbors, just like a heads up or that sort of thing. So it works really great.
And I think the new principal will be excellent at communicating.
Yep, 100%. So,
Counselor, any other
And
questions?
then one more, I guess it's more of a comment, but the Ensign Drive right now is set to, I believe a 5-lane, I don't know if it's a minor arterial or whatever that's called. It would be really great to have a separated bike lane. I know that this was discussed in Planning Commission, and by a couple residents came. But I do think that if that means the city needs to build that, I would like to do that so that there is a way for kids to get there via active transportation. I don't think this is something we can require the school district to do, but it's something I would like us to look into to make sure that there is a separated from the road trail for people to get to school right there.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So, on Ensign Drive, which is a pretty short road.
Chris, one. So I.
You're good.
Just on condition 3, this is not necessary for this, but once approved by the city council, all remaining red lines on plans, engineering. So when we approve this, do we put a timestamp on that? So if we approve it, all the red lines are kind of locked in. How do we do that? Because I've seen on other ones where we did put a timestamp on there, so we will put it. Okay.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but construction drawings as well as any sort of staff approvals with regard to, or city council approvals with regard to preliminary plat or site plan, they all have if no work has been done to accomplish or address these red lines, after a certain point, that approval lapses. So, and I don't know how that works with state law with regard to schools in particular. I don't know if that would change, but I can let Kevin chime in on that.
Sorry, Claire, can you clarify which red lines you're
So
referring
we're
to?
approving this today, so it says, once approved by the city council today, but there's nothing in here saying the red lines that recorded as of today. If we approve it, do we put a timestamp saying March 23rd or whatever today is?
The red lines to the construction drawings?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
Okay,
just to
there
make sure
shouldn't
that
be any
we
red lines
don't,
in
nothing
the
changes
agreement.
between now and tomorrow or whatever.
Right, they need to still comply with engineering standards, so those red lines will have to be addressed, yes. Yes,
Okay.
in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, just to expand on that, that's somewhat of a blanket statement you'll see in most staff reports, because when things come to you, there's always maybe some last little detail cleanup. So it's not locking in any specific red lines. It's just saying whatever it takes to get to that final finished product, whatever little nuances you're finalizing, you got to do that. It's just to be clear that the applicant isn't entitled to say, I don't have to do any more, whatever. It's actually to be clear that we're not obligated to stamp the construction drawings just because of this approval. They still have to finish that process. This approval isn't providing approval on the construction drawings, and that statement just clarifies.
Okay, because Jeremy, when I read it, this could be
Yeah.
a moving target, right?
You're not approving the engineering,
Right,
the
okay,
construction
okay.
drawings tonight, so that's a separate approval
Right,
that's done
okay.
through engineering.
Anything else from the council? Please entertain a motion on business item 2.
I move that the city council approve the requested preliminary plat and site plan for the ASD High School 722 located at the northwest corner of Ensign Drive in Mountain View corridor with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Second.
Great, we've got a first from Councilmember Davenport, a second from Councilmember Wadman. Please take a roll call vote. Councilmember Wilson?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
That vote is unanimous. Thank you, ASD and Future Lake Mountain. We will go to business item 3, amendments to Title 19 Land Development Code. Who is presenting?
Me.
Oh, present away.
A lot of me this evening.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a code amendment to Title 19, Chapters 1902, 1904, and 1905, related to specifically car washes and automobile repair uses. The nature and background behind this code amendment is really to clean up a lot of what is in code and make code more legible for someone if they're looking for regulations regarding these specific uses. The updates here to Chapter 1902, our definitions section, we're taking regulations that are listed within these definitions and moving them to 1905, which is where our supplementary regulations are. It's fairly typical that we don't like to have regulatory language within our definitions and would rather have that with all of the other regulations listed in code. So that's what's happening here. In addition to that, we're proposing an update to our definition for car wash self-service. After reviewing the previous definition, we felt that this was an update to be more modern language for what we're trying to define when it comes to self-service car washes. The changes that we're making to 1904, there were a number of places where these two automobile repair major and minor uses do not have the accompanying subscript 2 labeled adjacent to them. You can see here that 2 indicates that there are additional standards as provided in other sections of Title 19. So again, just cleaning up and making it clear that when somebody is reading our code, they know to look for those additional regulations. Those additional regulations are found in Chapter 1905 in our supplementary regulations. Real quickly here, with number 1, it looks like there's a lot of things being taken out here. Really what we were trying to do was separate automobile refueling stations from car wash operations and separating those out. Again, making sure that if somebody is looking through the code, they may miss the fact that there are car wash operation regulations by the fact that it starts off with refueling stations. And so we've taken those out, put them into their own here as automobile repair major, automobile repair minor, and then adding in just some language to car wash full service, making it clear that our distancing requirements are incorporated for self-service car washes as well there. So that really is the meat of what's being added here. This is car wash self-service that was taken out of that automobile refueling station. This is not new language. It's just making sure it's its own section within code.
So this is the same language we did 2 years ago?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Just moving where it sits in code.
It's just moving where it sits in code so that it has its own section. One other thing that I wanted to point out, there is an updated condition that was added to the staff report that wasn't taken to Planning Commission. I wanted to hone in on this because it's something that staff has added. There was this portion of the automobile repair major definition where we had regulatory language that it was just missed, and we realized that we had missed it and added it back in here. So that strikeout is that regulatory language provided is conducted within a completely enclosed building, and then adding that to the supplementary regulations in 1905. So as highlighted here. So with that, I will stand for any questions that you may have about this proposed code amendment.
I'll turn it to the council.
Do we run into these regulations very often?
Fairly often. They came about because there was a whole slew of car washes that were coming into the city at the same time, and we wanted to have regulations in place. We see them with new automobile refueling
Are we
stations.
still getting a lot of applications for car washes?
We are.
Yeah.
I've seen probably, I've seen a couple in the last year, and then before that, when this code was written, we literally got like 4 or 5 applications within a span of 6 months.
Yeah, you'd imagine we'd be kind of a saturated market. I do have one question. If you go back a couple slides, it talked about how, self-service car washes, condition E, shall include only self-service bays. Are there ever instances where there's a car wash that's like you can drive through or do it yourself? Is that a thing?
Thunder Bay on where.
Yeah,
the road does that.
are we prohibiting that with this code?
Correct, yeah, so this would limit self-service car washes to be solely self-service, so that somebody can't come in and say, under this condition, I'm a full service, and vice versa, and try and argue one way or another that they're not, what code maybe would determine them to be. So it's just straightening out that language and making sure it's obvious.
Yeah, I would love to know. I guess it didn't seem like they were super different, the self-service and the full service. Are they very different codes?
To add some context to
Yeah.
that, so a full service is really you're looking at when you get in.
Can you go, Mike?
Is this mic working? I don't even know.
Yep, if you get closer, it is, yes.
Okay, no, hopefully it's working. So a full service car wash is when you get like the dryers in there. And so
Yes.
those things make a lot of noise.
Mm.
And so the concern is when you get those next to like a residential area, it's creating a nuisance to the neighborhood.
Yes.
So the idea is if you have a self-service car wash, you don't have the dryers, you're just kind of spraying it off with that wand thing, and it's less impactful on the neighborhood.
Okay, so there's fewer regulations for the self-service versus the full service. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
correct.
you.
Mhm.
And as far as background for the council, back when we did have many car washes applying, we actually came in and updated this code to try and create some spacing. So we're not saying no, we don't want anymore, but they just have to have proper spacing between existing. So we don't have 2 full-service car washes within, 300 feet of each other, yeah. Which is what we were looking at. You drive right out of one into the other, that's right.
That's right.
Any other questions for the council? Okay, I'll entertain a motion on business item 3.
I move that the city council approve the requested code amendment to chapters 19.02, 19.04, 19.05 with findings and conditions of the staff report.
Second.
Okay, we have a first from Councilmember Taylor and a second from Councilmember Davenport. I'll ask for a roll call vote. Councilmember Wilson?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
Wadman?
Yes.
That passes unanimously. Business item 4, amendments to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor and
On
Council.
overtime, I love it.
That's right, 4 in a row. As stated, this is another proposed code amendment specifically for city-owned office trailers. The background on this proposed code amendment, last year in May, we took forward a site plan for the city cemetery. As part of that site plan, it was proposed that the city have a city-owned office trailer. At that time, we didn't have any regulations, and so one of the conditions of approval was that staff bring forward language and regulations for city-owned office trailers. So this is the result of that condition from that city cemetery site plan. So as part of this, we've added a definition for city office trailer. We've also added a subheading for churches within code that we've incorporated as part of this. There's no other changes to that portion of code that are being proposed. And then here are the regulations that are being proposed for city office trailers themselves. Real quickly, they need to be located outside of any required landscaping area. They need to comply with setbacks. They need to comply with accessibility regulations. They need to be connected to an approved electrical power source and have no more than one wall sign. So that's the gist of what we're trying to do here and kind of the background for this proposed code amendment. With that, I will stand for any questions you may have.
Council. Okay, if there are no further questions, I will entertain a motion.
I move that the city council approve the requested code amendment to chapters 19.02 and 19.05 with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Second.
We have a first from Councilmember Wilson, and a second from Councilmember Wadman. I'll take a roll call vote. Wadman.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Davenport.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
That vote is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our council meeting for tonight. Without objection, we will adjourn.